Do you remember when you brought me here? I was screaming. I was screaming at you, at the injustice of having you there, of having you be the one to hunt me down and bring me in. I did it to myself, obviously. I was the one who called you. I was the one who was too unsubtle about where I was, too slow to act before you stopped me. I didn't make that mistake the second time. The second time was perfectly calculated so that you'd get there just in time to hear what I had to say, but not in time to save me. Thank you for listening. This place is simple, straightforward, with none of the complexities of the other institutions. Why wouldn't it be? It doesn't need to treat, to improve lives. It only needs to prevent their loss. Are you a coward for wanting to start here? For wanting an easy start to the impossible task I gave you before I died? Maybe you started here because it reminds you of me, of your own self-perceived failure to save my life. Or maybe there isn't any reason for it. Maybe you're just here. When you walk through the doors, you're greeted by a familiar sight, a long, sterile hallway with a linoleum floor. White halogen lights flickering down from the ceiling far above. The vast walls are covered in a series of large corkboard squares, and to each is affixed a suicidal, their extremities bound by vinyl straps and then pinned to the board with brightly colored pushpins. Their thin blue gowns are pinned open like butterfly wings, leaving their bodies exposed to unimpeded examination and observation. Do you remember pinning me up there? Well, I screamed and fought, thrashing like an iridescent beetle trapped in a jar. Was I beautiful to look at once you had finished putting me up for display? Taped beneath the feet of each suicidal is a paper label, their scientific information neatly written out. You read none of these. You pay no mind to any of them. Some screaming and fighting, some begging for release, some hanging limp and silent. You walk by them as if they are nothing but curiosities, decorations on the wall that you've seen 100 times. You walk and walk and walk. It's cacophonous in here, miserable, but you don't even flinch when a suicidal yells curses at you right in your ear. Are you so resolute in your task, or are you just numb to it? At the end of the hall is a door of frosted glass that opens into a small observation room, walls covered in brightly lit televisions monitored by this place's warden, which looks up at you as you enter. It is a terrifying thing. The mad bird was not killed, it was dissected, its parts scattered and rebuilt into beings designed to help contain the consequences of its own existence. It is the flesh of a god built carefully into an uncaring machine. Like its charges, it too is restrained by rubber straps anchored to the wall, given enough freedom to care for its charges but not do harm to itself. Is that strange to you? Something that takes care of others when all it wants to do is hurt itself, end its own life. Does it remind you of me? Does it remind you of you? As you enter, it looks up at you and gives off a biomechanical squawk. It has no reason to be suspicious of you, as you are part of the system, a revered hunter, tracking down the mad and bringing them in so that they can receive their treatment. It has no reason to suspect your betrayal, even as you draw your baton from your belt and hold it at the ready. Why would it assume that you were here to do anything other than your job? When have you ever done anything other than your job? Why would you betray that? For me? You raise your weapon, and after a moment of hesitation, bring it crashing down onto the warden's metal skull. But you miscalculate. Maybe because you underestimate your opponent, or maybe because you waver in commitment to your task, but you don't kill it quick enough. And before it dies, if such a thing can even be said to die, blood and oil spraying from the crumpling form of its avian skull, it lets out a great cry that fills your mind utterly, that bends reality. The warning call of a pigeon that has sighted an eagle too late, and all it can do is save the rest of the flock. And then its voice sputters and its body hisses with steam, and it hangs limply in its restraints. The others know you're coming now. Coming to re-dissect them, to take their parts that were taken and reassemble divinity, to resurrect the mad bird. It is the most blasphemous thing that you could do. It goes against everything you've worked towards your entire life. It goes against everything that the world says is right. Madness should be contained, quarantined, so that it does not spread like a viral disease, consuming humanity, destroying it. That is the way of things. Why would you try to change that? For me? Did you really care about me that much? This isn't like you. Once you come to your senses, you continue with your task, your nitrile-gloved hands pulling metal from flesh, fascia and feathers, bone and sinew, freeing this part of the mad bird from its endoskeletal cage. This one has the mad bird's beak, which whispers goodbyes to loved ones before the end. One part of your task, my dying wish is now done. How did it feel? Was it easy? Did it feel blasphemous? Or did it just feel like work? As you leave with your quarry, you pay as little mind to the pinned-up suicidals as you did on your way in. With no one left to care for them, nature will grant them what they want soon enough.